Hello, and welcome to my playground. This is the Mad Chemist Church, or Church McGurch, depending on where you know me from, and welcome to Madman Review. We're back on our sandbox survival game kick, away from that Metroidvania kick that I had, where I was playing a bunch of Metroidvania games through Humble Bundle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Smalland Survive the Wilds. Like I usually do with my reviews, I show you what I've done, and I kind of go and explain around and look at things, because as reviews go, a lot of people just kind of show you footage that they've collected over time and they splice it into a voiceover. That, to me, there's too many spoilers in that. Yes, this is a lot of spoilers as is, but I don't show you story, I don't show you other things, I show you what you can get, not what you could get. And to me, I feel that that's better, because that just makes the drive, it makes the drive in me to want to play something more, because I see something and I go, oh, I want that. And then you get it, and then you're kind of like, it's kind of stupid, why did I get so... But if I see what it is already, I can be like, oh, I want that, or I want that, or that looks cool, but maybe I don't want it. And again, I'm showing proof that I actually played the game, unlike other people that just kind of show images and talk about something that they read on a wiki. So we're going to go in. So this is another game where your character is not connected to a world. I could take this character, I could go to anybody's world, any friend's world, anything like that. So I select the character, and then you can have different worlds. Like, I can go online with this world, I can stay offline. If I go online, I can turn on friendly fire, I can make it private, I can make a server password, I can go peaceful, keep inventory on death, disable weather, tame creatures are immortal. I like that. I'm a huge fan of not having my tames die, so I always select that. And then any other thing you want, you can kind of change and mess around and, you know, customize the server to your liking or your group's playstyle. I'm also a very big Norse mythology fan, as if you couldn't tell. So I have a lot of my stuff named Midgard, Valhalla, Asgard. It's like my go-to name for things. So I'm going to select and start this world. I also really don't talk about the story, because I believe the story is spoilers, and I want to get that on my own. I don't want to go into a story knowing, like, oh, you're running from a... and you gotta save the princess from the... Let me find that out on my own. So this, as you already saw, character, you don't naturally have the wings. You see my hotbar here. You can make different kinds of wings, like I have the Icarus gliding wings. These wings are mainly and only for gliding, but since these are kind of endgame, late game stuff, they also can make you fly, like in Wildmender. It's a glide with a little bit of an extra oomph. So this is the kind of the endgame armor that they added. The scorpion armor makes you kind of look like that. Health, stamina, nourishment, temperature, experience. As you can see, I think I'm like level 76, and I have a lot of points. Since I'm always a tank, what am I going to put my points into? Until I can't put any more points into them, of course I'm going strength and constitution, since I always end up playing a tank character. And endurance, just because I like stamina. Don't really need dexterity. It does help, but I'm a tank yet again, so I have some points into it. And of course, I really didn't notice any difference with... I put some points. As you can see, you can kind of move stuff around. I did put some points into intelligence, but I didn't really see that much of a difference. And then again, I'm not a crafting person, I'm a tank tamer. So what am I going to put all my points into? Things that help me tank and tame. And this is a game that does have taming, which I loved about it. There's also factions, which I really didn't get into because it didn't seem all that important. Like, they kind of made it. This game suffers from, we made too little content and we took too long to get content out. So they have some ridiculously high requirements for things to get almost nothing. So it's like requirement, reward is right here. So I took the faction, obviously, that gives me your creatures have their health increased by 25%. I don't know if you can see that while it's flashing. And increase the chance of successfully taming a creature by 10%. So this is kind of like World of Warcraft. You set down a trap, you lure a creature into it, and then it sits there and a little taming bar comes up and it slowly tames over time, but it can struggle and break free while you're taming it. So the less health it has, the easier it is to tame. Now, if you're not that style of person that likes to go out and do that, you can kill creatures, and every once in a while, they'll drop an egg. I have these arrows. They're not the best arrows, but they're free. You get them from killing certain enemies. Like these health elixirs. They're not the best health elixirs, but you get them for free. Same thing with the healing patch and the mushroom steak. Not the best stuff in the game, but you get it for free from killing certain enemies. So this is kind of like the amalgamation of my base, where I've half upgraded, half not. Your bed, which kind of has no point except for to speed night up. Cooking, you get different cooking stations, which, granted, I like having different things. It makes a game feel more flushed out and better when you can get all this stuff and you have all this cool looking stuff out. But I also like, I have a campfire, it makes all this stuff. Then I put a pot over it and I now have a cauldron and it makes all this stuff plus all that stuff. And then I attach to the cauldron this oven, so it's like right next to it, and then I can make all of this stuff plus all of that stuff. And it's all kind of like connected or linked or cool looking. These are kind of endgame chests. You can see they hold quite a bit. There's really no inventory expansion, so this is pretty much, this is what you see, this is what you get. I have all my food. This game does have craft from chest, so as long as it's within your boundaries of the boundaries of your zone, you can craft from any chest anywhere. You can also set it right. Oh, where is it? You can set it right here to make it so that it won't pull from it, and then you can set it to be like, I want it to pull from this chest first by setting the priority higher than another chest. So you could do like a high, medium, low, and it'll only pull from high. Once high's empty, it'll go medium, medium, low. This is another game where you can put it on your hotbar. This is a quick bar, but the items still stay in your inventory. What's nice about this game, and not so nice about this game, I know I have a cat. Repairing is free until it gets below, I want to say, like 50% of its durability. At that point, it requires a repair kit, which repair kits, as you can see, aren't that expensive. You can craft different things here, so you can see all the different kinds of traps, like I was talking about, defensive things in case you get attacked, because if you're playing on a server with other people, there is PvP. They can attack your thing and raid you. Different gliding wings. Different items. You can go here. Again, different items. Different... You can get a blowgun. You can get a bow. Different other building materials. Of course, the tannery, obviously, makes leather. Table, obviously, to make potions of all different kinds. Also, ammo. Because one of the things they did add into the end, another thing, I haven't got this yet, but in case you kind of early on in the game, grappling hook so that you can grapple around. More stuff, more armor. One of the last things they did add to the game in one of the more recent patches was a gun. I haven't made it yet because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, now that I've beaten the current amount of content, what's the point? It doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not trying to defend myself from another person. You don't get raided by enemies, so this one's another, you can craft this stuff. This is another, you can craft all the better items, all the stuff you find. Here's the hand cannon, which is the gun. The rodent spear, all the different armors. Because you do fight mice, that's another thing. You are a small fairy. You're fighting bugs and small creatures. Here's the scorpion armor. The wings that I currently have, the Icarus. So the reason why... I'm sorry, kitty. The reason why I have the Icarus wings here, as you can see, I have the Icarus gliding wings. They have a durability of 2,400. Whereas this is what you get from beating the game. You get the Tyrant's Crown, which is pretty much the exact same as the Scorpion's thing. Scorpion helmet. Just looks different. Which looks, his armor, the Tyrant's armor, looks really cool. You only get the crown. And the Tyrant wings. Tyrant wings look cool. They match this. They also match the Scorpion armor a little bit more because they're red and black. My colors, red, black, gold. Actually, I'm more of a red, black, silver. But red, black, gold is another alternative that I'll take. But their durability is only 1,750. So the Icarus wings have a much higher durability, so you don't have to repair them as often, and I didn't really notice a difference between the two. Fortunately, because this game was another too little content with not enough content coming out too quickly, once you beat the game, you can also find things like blocks and then use them as decorations when you build different pieces of insects. That's all your crafting materials are, is like stuff you can find out in the wild, and pieces of insects and animals, like lizard or amphibians, technically frogs, lizards, birds. What else is? Trying to think of like this, if there's anything else. Here's potions. Here's the eggs I was referring to. You can get these eggs, and when you hatch the egg, you get raided. Like I have a tarantula hawk wasp I haven't done yet, a tarantula egg, scorpion egg, and a fly egg, which I'm trying to collect one of each creature, as I normally do. But then there's some creatures that you can't get eggs for, and those have to be tamed through the taming traps. You can tame those through the taming traps, but they will not be as good as the ones hatched from eggs, because the ones that get hatched from eggs have qualities. And they have quality, and they also get more stats and higher stats than the ones that you would just go out and tame. Like you can see in the little tooltip here, this one will pop out as level 8, and its quality is fine, meaning it has a decent chance of having a better skill and better skills. This guy's level 0, fine. This guy's 0 common. 0 common. 0 common. And all that means is the higher level they are, the higher their max level can be. This is where you hatch them. Come over here, you put the egg in. You'll fight a wave of insects that'll come attack you. But like I was saying, because this game suffers from there was so little content and it took them so long, the weapon I currently have is far better than what they gave me at the end of the game. Which, that's a little bit of a spoiler, but they give you a sword, and it's not that good of a sword. This is just a little extra storage area for like random, either in-game stuff or Healy stuff. The other thing you can do, other than repair, is you can upgrade. As you can see, I have my bow and my hammer at max. I don't have these upgraded yet because of the fact they don't upgrade. Now, I believe someone was saying that the Icarus armor is technically better than the Scorpion armor because you can upgrade it. It required a lot of materials that I didn't have to upgrade the Icarus armor, so I just dumped it for the Scorpion, and I really haven't had an issue. You can also dismantle. When you dismantle, you get, I believe it's half the resources back. Yeah, you get half the resources of the item, which in some cases, that's kind of meh, but at least you get something back. I know my screen keeps shaking because here's the next thing. This is actually, in one of the last raids, they broke down my door and the roof here, so I replaced it. I finally got metal. So if I choose my building, my construction hammer, go here. This is also a really nice one. Go here. Yeah, this is kind of, I forget what, I think this is like more of like the Conan Exiles building, but it kind of breaks everything down to like what you can build. Like here's a catapult, all your different interactive structures, signs. I don't really have the signs up. These things are good. The repair totems are great for when you're getting raided because they heal your structures over time. Your decorations, like as you can see, anything with a star is something I haven't built yet. See, there's a lot of just cool decorations. There's a lot of different things. Like you can eventually get metal construction. And I just decided, I'm like, oh, instead of putting stone back up, I'll just put metal back up. And that's, the hammer is also how you repair your structure. So you build your main base on top of a tree, and then this tree, this is one of the coolest things that this game does. This tree, anything within a certain amount of area, if I go to another tree, let's get away from this. If I go to another tree, anything within that circle will literally, I'll click a button, and it'll be like, okay, this is now your new camp, and everything just, poop, is right here. How I have it. I don't have to move anything, I don't have to touch anything, I don't have to carry anything. Everything I have, just, bloop, is here. This is another structure that obviously it can't be inside a building, but you can put it like on top. And honestly, this thing only does two things. It makes flour and clay mortar, which obviously, if you know what flour is, you know what it's for, and clay mortar, if you know what clay mortar is, you know what it's for. These are insects. These have all been hatched from eggs. I did a little bit of the taming, but the things you can get only by taming, I'm sorry, the insects are not real. You can't get them, Kit Kat. She just tried to attack the bugs on the screen. They're not that great. Like a ladybug. I'm like, what do you need a ladybug for? Eventually I might go get one just because. These are your butler, merchant. What does he have? Oh, nice. That's a new thing I didn't see before. So this is kind of the first guy you get. You can trade certain things like pyrite, and these colony spider abdomens for hoots. Hoots is currency. And then you can buy things like I've bought all these. So I have all these decorations. And the metal parts is how I got the metal pieces. This guy's your butler. He takes you up and down. Tree butler, as you can see. And then this is the gnome effigy. This is the guy that you can transfer your tree back and forth. You can unclaim it. That'll cause it all to disappear. And then you can go to another tree. Or you can just go to that tree and hit claim. And it'll just take it from here. It'll automatically unclaim this tree and claim that tree. And then if you don't want people up here, like your friends, you can make it public or you can make it private. I have mine right now set to private so nobody can get up here but me. And these are all my bugs. So I have a bull ant, obviously a red ant, that's a stink bug, a carpenter ant. Doesn't really look like a carpenter ant to me, but I'll go with it. Now one of the things they added, and I actually named it, that's not its real name. It's called a nocturnal ladybug. I called it night juice. but they have nocturnal versions of bugs, which have a different skin to them and only come out at night. There's a carpenter ant worker. The other one over there is a warrior. Like this is a nocturnal grasshopper, so he's got like more of a darker physique to him. As you can, one of the things they added late in the game is the blue. I can't say that word on YouTube, even though I'm referring to an animal. The AI is not that smart. But you can get this bird, you can have it join your party. You have 100 party points, so you can have any combination of creatures that up to 100 points. You can see here, inventory shows my inventory, crafting shows what I can craft from my inventory. Repair, obviously you only can repair with your repair kits unless you're at a workbench. Map shows you all the different NPCs, different locations. Pretty much been everywhere. And then where the bosses are. These bosses, and where events. There's also world events that'll pop up. I don't know why that's glitching. Bosses only drop one item, and that item doesn't do anything but complete a quest one time. You might be able to turn them in again for points for a faction, but like I said, the factions don't really have anything on them that you can get that's not already taken out by the fact that there's been, I believe, one or two expansions to this game, which was the top area here, this area, and then this area, to kind of end the game officially. You complete the storyline. Pair map, journal, as you can see, survive the wilds. I've done all the quests that are available. Codex. So this is kind of where you can see I'm missing some things. I'm not 100% sure what they are. They're probably like random recipes from factions that you can get. And you can switch factions at any point in time. You just walk up to the NPC and switch, and I do not believe you lose progress, so you can max one faction out and then go and learn. I don't know if there's just certain... I know I'm missing like one weapon that you can kind of find it in the wild and then craft it. I'm missing like the insect lance, which isn't that great of a weapon. It was great back in, when the game first came out. Obviously, you can find army men, toy soldiers, and I just have them pointing at my thing, protecting my place. Bee drone. Bee, which is actually a bee soldier. As you could have heard, you've probably heard, mosquito. These are all low level early game, except for the stink bug. He's pretty endgame. That's an endgame-ish creature. The water bug and the hornet are pretty early game. The hornet allows you to fly. It's a mount. Party member plus mount. Cricket is a mount. Obviously, bird endgame. Took a lot of shit to get because this game suffers from the too little content without updating. Sawyer beetle. I don't know if I said that right. I've never actually seen these, and if I have seen these, I've called them a different name. Water bug, which is just a water roach. Like I said, hornet. Bluebird, not an actual bluebird, but I'm not going to say that word because of AI. A black widow. This is another mount, really cool, can cause poison. My favorite, and that's why I have so many of them, the geckos. You can breed geckos, or not breed, but you can get the eggs, and you can get geckos. They do a ton of damage quickly. There are also mounts. You can get lizard. This is also end game here. Geckos are more early mid. Lizard's more end game. He's pretty cool looking. Stag beetles, as you can see with the big pincers. And rhino beetles, which I just call them horned. Looks like a rhino beetle. Might be just a horn beetle. I don't know. I'm not a bug expert. But that's all I have so far. There's more. There's far more. There's like wolf spiders. There's nocturnal spiders. There's different kinds of grasshoppers. There's like a wasp that I never got. There's a couple little things here and there that I just never bothered with. And then, like I said, I have eggs still for, like, I can get a fly, I can get a scorpion, a tarantula, and a tarantula hawk wasp. I just need to take the time to fight those as they come. If you have them, you can have that in your inventory, and this kind of shows you your companions, your party list, how many you have in here. Codex journal. And that whistle will pull them all to you, so if one gets lost and you can't find where they went, you can use the whistle to pull them, kind of teleport them to you. And then once you get so far away from them, they'll auto-teleport to you. Last but not least, before I go anywhere, so like I was saying, a tamed one doesn't have as many stats as like a bred one. Also, the cool thing is you can pet them. Pet. And petting them increases your bond with them. The other thing you can do is you can inspect them. And so a normal captured one won't have as many traits and won't have as good stats. This one I bred, so it's got better stats, it's got better traits, so it came with Share the Love, Uncommon. This companion inspires others with their will to defend their home. Basically, it has a larger aggro radius, so that when it starts attacking, or something starts attacking something else, it'll pull faster. Its base level was 7, and that means it can go to a max level of 127. And you can rename it, tells you the name, health, resilience, and your bond. When they get hurt, they do heal over time, but you can drop food on the ground and they'll run up and eat the food. So go to this guy, pet, inspect. You can see, depending on like what it says, what kind of quality they are. Like I've gotten like quality legendary and like quality like perfect, and they'll end up with like thick chitin, rare, fast learner, uncommon, and a sturdy common version. And I believe, I forget which one it is, but it's not like that great of a creature, but like they're all of its stats are blue. Like every single one it has here is blue. I don't remember which one that is, but I remember it being like something I'd never use. So when you're out and about, you can press V and it'll highlight enemies, it'll highlight other players, it'll even highlight resources. So if you're looking for something, you can scan. Oh look, stag beetle lizard. It'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Piercing resistances, pierce damage, weakness, vulnerabilities, edge damage. What their stat balance is, what their drop is. So if you're looking for something particular, you can just scan and be like, oh look, that drops blood sacks, I need to kill that. Or that drops that, I need to kill that. Or oh, hey look, this flower drops this, this, and this, like nectar and flower petals. So that's the basics of the game. There's no teleporting per se, so it's a lot of running around. The map in consideration is actually pretty small due to the fact that you can't really teleport from area to area, and it's super crucial, super crucial and critical that you get a flying mount ASAP, or a mount, like something you could like the spider, join your party, and then mount, because they do so much more damage, they hit harder, and they heal faster than you. So I'm gonna unmount. They also have, once they're in your party, they have options. Like this one has mount. You can tell them to wait here or follow you. Once you use the pet whistle, they'll regroup to you, even if it says wait here. And then leave party. Was it you that had... No. Like a soft plushie. This is another good one because the seasons do change. This body temperature of this companion is unusually high. It means you're warm when riding that companion. So if it's super cold out or it's storming, you have protection from the cold. That's the bird again. So if we look at the map, you can kind of see this is my home encampment. These are all the different people. Like I said, there's no teleporting, so pretty much the best thing is flying. Another good way to get around is gliding. So with these wings, the normal wings, you can't really do anything but kind of glide, and then you have to push yourself. But once you get these Icarus wings or the Tyrant wings, you can press again and flap your wings, which gets you a little bit of a bump. Little boop. And then you can go back to gliding. Decent way to get around, but still like the best way to get around, of course, is the burb. And of course, you will always be burb. But the first bird I get in any game is always named Burb. B-I-B-R-B. Burb. I just haven't named that one. So there's... this is another game that's suffering from not enough content, not quickly enough. You figure you give a game, you get a major any kind of open survival sandbox game, you need a major update 2 to 3 months in. And then every 3 months after that. Because that's another thing, is it took so long to get the hoots required to get a lot of this stuff, and the only way to get them quickly enough or quicker is to go to the end game area and just farm those enemies. And because that's what I was doing, because it was like 500 hoots, because I was farming those enemies, I was getting all this stuff and just using it as I was getting it more than I was using it. As soon as I got like the scorpion armor and the hammer, things became easier, because this is actually a very Souls-like game. Creatures are not easy to kill. Creatures are not that easy to kill. And you're a very tiny thing using a very tiny weapon trying to kill very big things. So, you know, it's like a normal person going up against a tiger with a pocket knife. It felt like in some of them, like especially when I was trying to fight the birds, because you need the feathers to make the Icarus wings and the Icarus armors. And even with this hammer, trying to fight the birds to get feathers, if long drawn out fights that required potions galore. Oh, there's one of my spiders. There's a colony spider that I hatched. I forgot it made its way up here on its own. I don't know how, but it did. So this is another one where it's very reliant on you having a party of either other players or creatures, and then relying on those. Since I have them set to immortal, they don't die. But you can create this thing called revive incense, not revival, which is pretty costly. That bug lymph is not that easy to get. If I spent some time farming, I could probably get a good grip of it, but it's used in so many recipes that you need, especially endgame. The refined wood is kind of meh to make. The resin and flint are stupid easy to get. But you just use that on them and they wake up. They're at pretty low health still, so it's not like an instant, like, come back. But if you go in with a full party of, like, pretty decent creatures, it's not too bad. But if you're trying to do this game alone, like they like some people do. I typically do stuff alone without creatures because I don't like managing or getting things stuck or lost. But there's that, and it just was a slog at some points of this game. Because they were trying to slow you down to make you spend more time. I don't know how many hours I have in this game, but I'm pretty much done with it. Other than going and getting a couple things and maxing out the factions, I'd fly to a faction, but it's so pointless. It's just, to me, it's so pointless to look at these factions and try to be like, what could they give you? Oh, I could get this, because some of them do have like faction armor that you can get, but I already have better armor. There's like a tier, oh, where is it? There's like a tier 3. Each one has like a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 items, and I'm pretty sure that's what I'm missing in the Codex, but it's just outplayed and outshadowed, and it's just pointless. I am a completionist. I do like to complete things like to the full extent, but nowadays I don't have time. So I get to a point where I can physically handle it and say, okay, I'm done, and walk away until the next major update or two. I don't know when this last major update was, but I have a feeling it'll probably be another year or two before I post like a update review or an updated review or like a so I played this game 2 years later kind of thing, and yada yada yada. That's virtually it. I'd like to show, if I had a quicker way back, I'd love to show off kind of what the game looks like and what combat looks like. I can tell you right now, it's a lot of just rolling. The block, you can block and parry, but it's so janky and things move so slow. The combat could use a lot of love. The combat in this game could use a lot of love. And because I keep forgetting I need to rebind my keys. Because E is block, and I'm so used to E being my interact button that I go to interact with something and I just end up like sitting here like, why is it not opening? And then left control is dodge, which in most games it's left control, but I like it to be my mouse 4. That way while I'm swinging I can mouse forward with my thumb. I am starving of hunger, which that's another thing, you can start starving to death. And until your hunger bar is over a certain point, you can't heal. So now I'm full. You can see I'm well fed, bonus, I'm healing. But yeah, it's a beautiful game. Beautiful game. Meh story. Kinda cool stuff. Creatures. Not a lot in the end when it comes to like creatures and other things. Not a lot of story when it comes to that. Not a lot of variety. But I guess in another couple years, if this game makes it that far. Oh, I just wasted a repair kit on that. Yeah, like I said, outside, no repair, or on a workbench, no repair kit, outside, repair kit. So I could see if this game makes it, and the developers don't give up in a couple years, this game will actually be a very decent game. The only problem is, the game will have been out for I don't know how many years at that point. 5, 6 plus years. So, we'll see what happens. Good game. Definitely something to play with your friends. To kill some time until the next game comes out. Something to come back to in a year or two with your friends. Or, if you like insects or you like stuff like this, definitely something to play alone. Something to come back to every couple months when they do a major update or whatever it is. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave this one because I can't. You find other folk. That's the other thing that I might mention. This is a Fey folk. This is a Fey folk. There's a bunch of Fey folk here that are enemies. There's a bunch of Fey folk here that are enemies. But you really don't see anything but insects and a handful of soldiers of your species of Fey folk, whatever. I forget what they call them. Kind of scattered about. On the desert area. This guy gives you the gun right here. Another merchant. Another... Don't really know what her purpose was, other than giving you the ability to get the rodent stuff, because you fight mice. Which was another interesting, tough battle. Fighting a bunch of different mice, including a boss that's a mouse, but it's not marked as one. So it's probably repeatable for other stuff. Another kind of faithful merchant. It's where you get the bird. The blue bird. Faction. Story. Faction. I think story, not faction. And the bosses. The bosses were kind of jokes once you had the proper gear. But I don't think this really is this is as much of a codex as it is anything else, and I don't really know if there's a bestiary. I don't think there's a... Yeah. But that's where I'm going to leave it. Good game. Kind of lackadaisical and kind of one of those games that, for me, once I was done with it, I was done with it. But until next time, you be you. You stay you. Also, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've played this game. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know if you're playing it now. You know, just different stuff like that in the comments. But as everything else goes, you be you, you stay you, and most importantly, adventure on.